My name's Joshua Morin. I'm a travel filmmaker. Today we're going to talk about my favorite lenses to put on a Sony a7 III or any other Sony full frame body. So before we get started, I just wanted to let everybody know that I have a new free web series that's out on my YouTube channel called How to Make a Good Travel Video. If you haven't subscribed, please do so now and you can follow along. Let's get started. So by far my favorite lens that I use all the time on a gimbal and even handheld shooting is the 16 to 35 millimeter Sony f4 constant lens. It's a beautiful lens. It's super sharp. I love the colors from it. I use this lens a lot on the gimbal. The focusing on it is really good. And the great thing is with the a7 III is that you have the punch-in APS-C mode. So really it becomes a 16 to 50 millimeter. And coupled with another lens, maybe from 50 on, that gives you quite a range to work with. So the second lens that I recommend and is really useful, especially if you have two bodies, you can slap this on the second body, is this Nikon 105mm f2.8 macro. It's a vintage lens and it focuses backwards, but I've gotten used to it. This will allow you to compress the background and get really good portraits and has a good reach on it. I use it a lot for macro as well, for any details that you can pick up when people are working, you know, getting their hands, their fingers, you know, small details, anything that you can pick up. Also frequently when you're in a crowd or you're in a situation where you can't get right up to a person and you want to get a shot of them, the 105 allows you to do that. And also, as I mentioned in my portrait video, I'll use this lens to get a tight shot after I do a head and shoulders portrait. Just to get like a nice macro on their eyes. And the f2.8 really allows you to throw the background out of focus and get a great bokeh. Now there is a Sony equivalent to this lens and I've tried it before. It's a beautiful lens. I believe it's a few $1,000s. And the reason why I got this lens is because I know that I'm always going to manual focus with this lens just because it's a lot easier than focus by wire systems. And also it has such a really nice organic feel, this lens, and it's about 1/10 of the price used. I always have this on a second body that's strapped around me while I have a camera on the gimbal. The next lens that I use a lot is the Sony f2.0. It's great for low light. It's really small. The focusing on it is really good as well. And I believe it's only $200 or $300. It's very cheap. It's a great buy. It's really easy to pack, put in your pocket, that kind of thing. And like I said, it's great in low light. So whenever the sun goes down or something like that and I need something with low light, I use this. I shot on a lens like this for a year. The 28mm is by far my favorite focal length. A lens that is really underrated, and I don't know how many people use this lens, but I think it's the kit lens. It's the 28 to 70mm Sony full frame lens. It's very light. It's f4, I believe. But yeah, it's very cheap. And what's great about it, it has very good close focus. And when you use the APS-C mode and punch in, it's almost macro. It's very close to macro. And like I said, very small, very cheap, very light. The focusing system on it is really good as well. And it's a great range. 28 to 70 is where I like to be whenever I'm doing any documentary filming or where I don't know where the subject's gonna move to. So one tip is that I rarely buy my lenses new. I buy my lenses from B&H used, or I'll go to KEH. They have a great rating system there that tells you how worn these lenses are. I bang my lenses around quite a lot, so there's no point for me to buy it new. When it's on a gimbal, it's constantly flapping around and gets hit and knocked and these kind of things. So buying it used, as long as the lens itself is clean and the focusing system works, I don't care if there's any dings on it. And it also saves you sometimes up to $1,000. So those are all the lenses that I usually use on a shoot. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll post all the lenses below. Please subscribe and I'll catch you at the next one.